If you are over 60 and you drink this every single morning thinking it's one of the healthiest things in your kitchen, you may be making a quiet mistake that could be working against your bones day after day. And the dangerous part? Most people feel proud about drinking it. They think they're helping their heart, helping their weight, helping their health. But stay with me, because in a moment, I'm going to tell you why this healthy drink can become a real problem after 60, and the one simple label detail that changes everything. If your bones feel weaker, your posture is changing, your joints ache more, or you worry about fractures as you get older, this matters more than you think. The drink is almond milk. Yes, almond milk. Now before you panic, let me say this clearly. Almond milk is not poison. It is not automatically bad, and I am not saying everyone should throw it away tonight. But here's the surprising part. For many adults over 60, almond milk becomes a problem not because it's toxic, but because it quietly replaces stronger bone-supporting choices while giving much less than people think. That is where the danger starts, because after 60, your bones are no longer as forgiving as they were at 30 or 40. Bone loss speeds up with age. Muscle mass often declines. Appetite changes. And many older adults start eating less protein and less calcium without realizing it. So when a healthy drink enters the daily routine and people assume it's doing the job of real milk or a better fortified option, their bones may slowly pay the price. And the biggest mistake people make with almond milk, I'll explain in just a moment. First, let's talk about why this matters so much after 60. As we get older, bone is constantly being broken down and rebuilt. That sounds normal because it is. But after a certain age, especially after menopause in women and with general aging in both men and women, that balance can shift. Your body starts losing bone faster than it rebuilds it. That means your skeleton needs support every single day. Not just calcium, not just vitamin D, not just exercise. It needs the full pattern. And this is where almond milk can quietly fool people, because it looks clean, it sounds light, it feels modern, it has that healthy halo around it, unsweetened, plant-based, dairy-free, low-calorie. All of that sounds wonderful. But here's the surprising part. Low-calorie does not mean bone protective. And plant-based does not automatically mean nutrient-rich enough for an older adult's bones. That is the part people miss. A lot of traditional almond milk is very low in protein, very low, much lower than dairy milk, and usually lower than soy milk too. That matters because bones do not just need calcium. They also need protein. Most people don't know this, but protein is part of the actual structure that helps support bone and muscle. So if you switch from a drink with meaningful protein to one with almost none, and you do that every day for years, that may not look dramatic in the moment, but it can matter over time. This is where it gets dangerous, because the person drinking it thinks I'm making a healthier choice. Meanwhile, they may be getting less protein, sometimes less usable calcium, and in some cases more sugar if they're buying flavored versions. That's not a better trade after 60. That's a hidden downgrade. Now let's talk about the second problem. Fortification confusion. This is a huge one. Some almond milks are fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Some are not enough. Some are better than others. Some look healthy on the front of the carton but do not deliver much when you read the back. And that one habit, not checking the label, is one of the biggest mistakes older adults make. Because they assume all almond milk is basically the same. It's not. Not even close. One carton may give a decent amount of calcium. Another may give much less. One may be unsweetened. Another may be loaded with added sugar. One may be carefully fortified. Another may be little more than almond-flavored water. And if you're over 60, your bones do not have time for guessing games. They need real support, not health marketing. But here's the surprising part. Even when almond milk is fortified, that still doesn't automatically make it the best choice for bone health. Why? Because calcium is only part of the picture. You still need enough total protein in the day, enough vitamin D, enough resistance or weight-bearing movement, and enough overall nutrition so your body is not forced to pull from your bones. That's the deeper issue. Sometimes the real problem is not the almond milk alone. It's the fact that almond milk becomes the symbol of an entire eating pattern that looks healthy, but leaves older adults undernourished. A smoothie for breakfast, soup for lunch, toast for dinner, a few snacks in between. Very little protein, very little calcium, not enough vitamin D, not enough strength training. Then one day the doctor says your bone density is lower, and you wonder how that happened. It happened quietly. That's how. And this is where almond milk becomes part of a much bigger story. Now let's talk about the third problem. Almost nobody mentions. People use almond milk as a direct milk replacement, when it is not always an equal replacement. That is the mistake. If you pour almond milk on cereal, into coffee, into oatmeal, into smoothies, and use it every day exactly like dairy milk, but never make up the missing protein and nutrients somewhere else, you may slowly create a gap in your diet. And after 60, small gaps matter, because you don't bounce back from nutritional mistakes the way you used to. You may not notice anything for months or years. There's no alarm bell, no warning sound, no big dramatic symptom the next morning. But here's the dangerous part. Bones can weaken silently. That's what makes this so scary. You don't feel bone loss happening. You often discover it after a scan, after height loss, after back pain, or after a fracture. That's why this topic matters so much. Not because almond milk is evil, but because silent problems need earlier attention. And the biggest mistake people make, I promised I'd explain it clearly. They choose almond milk because it sounds healthy, then never ask what it's replacing. That question changes everything. What is it replacing? Is it replacing a more balanced source of calcium and protein? Is it replacing a proper breakfast? Is it replacing fortified soy milk, dairy milk, yogurt, or other foods your bones actually rely on? If yes, then that healthy drink may not be helping you the way you think. Now let me be fair. There are people who do just fine with almond milk. If they choose a well-fortified version, if they eat enough protein from other foods, if they get enough calcium and vitamin D from the rest of their day, if they keep sugar low, if they stay active, then almond milk can absolutely fit into a healthy routine. But here's the surprising part. That is not how many people use it. Many older adults treat almond milk like a nutritional hero when it's really just one small beverage with limits. That's the truth. It can be part of the plan. It should not be blindly trusted as the plan. Now let's talk about sweetened almond milk. This one is a double problem, because now you may be dealing with low protein and added sugar at the same time. And after 60, that is not a small issue. Too much sugar can work against your weight, blood sugar, energy, and inflammation. So if someone is drinking vanilla almond milk, chocolate almond milk, sweetened cafe versions, or using large amounts in smoothies, they may be turning a healthy habit into a daily sugar routine, and that matters for the whole body, not just bones. Most people don't know this, but health decline often comes from small daily habits that felt harmless. One drink, one snack, one substitution, repeated for years. That's how the body changes quietly. Now let's get practical. What should you do if you drink almond milk? First, don't panic. Second, stop assuming. Read the label. Check the calcium. Check the vitamin D. Check the protein. Check the added sugar. That one step puts you ahead of most people already. Third, shake the carton well. This sounds simple, but it matters. In fortified drinks, nutrients can settle. If you pour without shaking, you may not be getting what you think you are. And the biggest surprise for many people is this. The healthiest looking carton in the fridge may not be the strongest one for your bones. Now let's talk about better options. If your main goal is bone support, many people do better with a beverage that gives more complete nutrition. For some people, that may be dairy milk. For others, especially those who avoid dairy, Unsweetened fortified soy milk is often a closer nutritional match than almond milk because it usually has more protein. That's important because after 60, the question is not just, is this drink light? The real question is, does this drink actually nourish me? That is the question older adults should ask much more often. Nourish me. Not just please me. Not just for the trend. Not just sound healthy. Actually nourish me, because after 60, weakness doesn't usually come from one terrible decision. It comes from many almost healthy decisions that quietly leave the body short on what it truly needs, and that includes bones. Now let's go deeper for a moment. A lot of older adults are trying to eat clean. They're trying to lower cholesterol, cut calories, avoid heavy foods, maybe reduce dairy because they think it's automatically better. And I understand that. But here's the emotional truth. Many people are trying so hard to be healthy that they accidentally become undernourished. That happens all the time. They stop eating enough protein. They stop eating enough calcium-rich foods. They stop lifting anything heavy. They walk less. They eat like birds. And they drink things that sound healthy without checking whether those things actually support aging bones. That is not failure. That is confusion. And confusion is dangerous when it lasts for years, because weak bones do not just mean a scan result. They can mean fear of falling, loss of confidence, slower recovery, less independence, more pain, more limitation. That's why this matters so much. Strong bones help you stay you. They help you keep moving, bending, walking, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, traveling, living on your own. So if a daily drink is quietly pulling you away from that, it deserves attention. If you find this helpful, consider subscribing, because on this channel we talk about the hidden daily habits that affect your bones, energy, digestion, and long-term health after 50 and 60, in simple language that actually makes sense. Now there's one more thing people get wrong. They think calcium alone will save them. It won't. You need the full package. Calcium, vitamin D, protein, movement, and consistency. That means even if your almond milk is fortified, if the rest of your routine is weak, your bones are still at risk. And if your almond milk is not well fortified, not giving you much protein and replacing better options every day, then yes, that healthy drink may be quietly weakening your bone support routine over time. That is the real truth. So let's close the loop clearly. Over 60, what is the healthy drink that may be weakening your bones every day? For many people, it's almond milk, especially the wrong kind, used the wrong way, for the wrong reason. Not because almond milk is automatically harmful, but because many people mistake it for a complete nutritional replacement when it often isn't. That is the hidden problem. So here's the takeaway. If you drink almond milk, do it intelligently. Choose unsweetened if possible. Check for calcium and vitamin D fortification. Look at the protein. Shake the carton. And make sure the rest of your day actually supports your bones. If not, your drink may be giving you comfort, while your skeleton quietly gets less than it needs. And after 60, that is too important to ignore, because bone loss is silent. Until it isn't. So next time you pour that glass, ask yourself one simple question. Is this drink really strengthening me, or have I just been trusting the label? That one question could protect your bones more than you think. And sometimes, real health begins the moment you stop assuming something is healthy and start asking whether it is truly helping your body age stronger.